Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Keep on rocking in the free world, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ned from NetStack, but it's otherwise known as your friendly neighborhood basement dweller. Don't worry, ma'am, I am from the internet. And man, on the internet, we love our stories, especially when piracy took over. We love taking stories from Hollywood. Those stories from Hollywood are okay, they're really entertaining, but let's face it, they're nothing compared to the books. They're never anything compared to the books. The books always live in our minds, in our hearts, sometime, somewhere. And the movies take the books away. The artists and whatnot want to take the movie away from the book. The comics, the same way. You always want to change it up a little bit to make it easier for your medium, and because it's nice when the story doesn't change. But also at the same time, it's good when the story stays the same. When the story has a constant storyteller, a man with a plan at the end of it that can figure everything out. Akira Toriyama, the George Lucas. Matt and Trey Stone Parker, from all kinds of people, are the keepers of their stories. The person from Harry Potter that everybody hates. Anyways, I was really upset as somebody who loved to collect stories about aliens and Predator when I was young, and I thought it was really edgy and all that stuff. And I was really following the story in Dark Horse Comics that was about Hicks and everyone going on this way, and then Alien 3 came out and they took it this way. Guys, it sucked. It sucked. Anyways, I noticed that there was different continuities. There was a movie continuity, there was a book continuity, comic book continuity, and then children's continuity to multiple things. And man, this continuity is a giant pain in the arse. It's like if you just get a book series. Books are always better than the movies. But anyways, if you just get a book series made by the same author, but by the same individual, those will usually be good in their same little bit. But then if a comic book goes off on another series, they don't, even though you pay the money for it and find it and collect it, they don't even promise it's going to be part of the same overall story. And that is disgusting. It's freaking disgusting. It's so cheap and disgusting. It's definitely very 90s, and oh my goodness, it's it really messes with me when I put so much time and energy into a medium and then I find out that that's not actually part of the main story. It's not actually part of the continuity. Then don't make the story. Man, I get really upset with Star Wars because of all the books it released. And they're like, oh no, that's just legend. The books, the comic books, if it's not George Lucas, it's something else, or it doesn't actually happen. That's what I want to talk about. We get different timelines for different stories, and that's messed up. We have to stop doing that. We have to have one line of stories, maybe two or three, but we definitely have to make sure that if we have a group of stories, that they generally follow the same line and we don't have to question. Within book series, we don't have an issue. They're all together. Or if they're not together, sometimes they are together, we just don't know about it. Like Stephen King books. Jeez, so many Stephen King books are connected to other Stephen King books, and you don't realize it until you find some of the alphas who really know what's going on, and they'll draw you up the maps because this place is referred to in that place, and I love that stuff. And it's easy in Stephen King because Stephen King's the only one working on it, which is lovely. It's lovely, lovely, lovely. It's super lovely, but it gets really upsetting when just like I said, you follow a comic thinking it's going to take off from the movie, and it just doesn't. It's just a slap in the face. It's a pain in the arse. It's a pain in the arse, these continuities. But one thing I want to point out is we get so deep into these continuities sometimes. Like Star Wars. Star Wars continuity goes like this. If Lucas doesn't agree with it, or at least it did. If Lucas doesn't agree with it, it's not canon. We'll say it's Legends, and then you have different versions of Legends, like maybe from a card game legend or this legend. Originally, one of the only things that ever got taken from the expanded universe to the regular universe was Coruscant. Coruscant being the idea of a planet that was taken over by a city, and absolutely taken over 360 degrees, and it could only grow up pretty much. They added that in the special editions at the the third one, Empire Strikes Back. And at the end of it, when the Empire died, being killed by a bunch of Ewoks, right? The Emperor killed by a bunch of freaking Ewoks. Okay, hey, comic book continuity, right? Or not? Star Wars, right? Right? Oh man, oh man. And then they show Coruscant. Anyways, at that point, there were about, I'm going to say it was 2005. There was a core continuity, yeah, of Lucas, and then the books, the comics, and then sub micro universes. It's just a pain in the arse, especially if it all claims to have been from the same universe. Like if it's Transformers, if it's GoBots, you can take it all over the place. But if it's Aliens and Predator and you're building off of the established lore, stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with that established lore, especially if you're charging these acidine prices for all of this, for the comics, for the movies, for all of this stuff. I swear to God, Alien versus Predator, the people that made that had no idea. No idea any of the lore. And some of the lore gets so stupid. Some of the lore gets so stupid. And you gotta wonder who added this to the lore. Why are we? Who makes the lore? And it's like you focus in on a word, you say the word so many times, and it loses all meaning. It's like that when you look into the lore, pretty much too. But these stories are important. I like to think these stories are important in and of themselves. Yeah, a lot of them are entertaining, but a lot of times all of these stories say something about us, about our feelings, about our thoughts, about our struggles, about who we are, about our condition. And all stories are a little bit different, and they should be honored for that. Anyways, Disney ends up buying Star Wars. Then all of a sudden continuity changes. And now continuity is whatever Disney says it was. And if Disney hasn't said it's continuity, then it's not. So continuity went from if Lucas said it, then it's good, to if Disney said it, then it's good. There's so much nuance in the whole thing. There's so much nuance. And I didn't even bother trying to keep up with what Disney said was canon and what wasn't. Because even as Disney was proceeding on, it wasn't, it was making new IPs within Star Wars and not saying what was canon and what wasn't. Gotta keep our stories tight. You gotta keep our stories tight. That's my rant, guys, about licensing out stories and what happens to them when you do. Anyways, have a good one, folks. Take care of each other. Happy holidays.